Good morning. Today, you should have already done the EOC review here at problems 1 and 2. It's draw, mark, and label. It should not take you a whole lot, very much time. But today we're going to be skipping around the notes a little bit because there's 2 investigations I want to guide you through and I need to be here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start with the notes. Perpendicular lines are lines that meet and form right angles. So if I were to take, it could be lines, could be segments, because a line is just, so this would be an example of perpendicular lines, where this is a right angle, and that is our right angle symbol. That lets you know, that symbol right here on a drawing lets you know that there are perpendicular lines. The symbol for perpendicular lines, when we want to say segment or line AB, is perpendicular to, let's say, line CD. Sorry, that's a messy D. Then we use that upside down T. That's how we do perpendicular. So if you want to draw, label, and mark perpendicular lines AB and CD, then you're going to draw one line, you're going to draw another line, and you're going to make sure that you put on, that was the draw. I don't want to get ahead of myself. So we'll put this over here for the moment. So now here's the label. This is A, B, and if we want lines, then we'll make them lines. We're going to make this C, D with a line, and now that's the label part. And now the mark part is where we do this. We put in this little square, and that little square means perpendicular. Draw, mark, and label. When you're given perpendicular lines, I want you to immediately think right angles. I want you to think right angles, and I want you to look for them. All right, you have a word map. So part of your homework, on your homework paper, I want you to complete this word map. All right, so this is part of your homework. So you can have a perpendicular word map. We've done lots of these. All right, now perpendicular bisector of a segment. It's 2 operative words. Perpendicular means they're going to be right angles formed, and bisect means to cut in half. So perpendicular of the bisector of a segment is a line, segment, ray, could be a ray, that is perpendicular to a segment at its midpoint. So if I have a segment, then I could, if I want a perpendicular bisector, there's a line. Then what that means is we have a right angle here, and it means that this part of the segment, because this is the midpoint now, is congruent to that part of the segment. So this is a powerful description or word or relationship. So when you want to draw, mark, and label a segment with a perpendicular bisector, then we'll say perpendicular we'll say AB is the perpendicular bisector, I ran out of room, bisector, that's a C, it's a perpendicular bisector of segment MN. All right, so I've drawn it. I'm starting to label it. Here's M, here's N, and this is AB. AB is the one that is, AB is the perpendicular bisector. That means it is doing the bisecting. Now when I go to mark it, I've got to mark this box. It's telling us that's the perpendicular piece, but then I've got to mark the bisect piece, which shows me those two equal angles. So now when you're given a perpendicular bisector, I want you to think right angles, and when you think right angles, of course, that 90 degrees should come into mind, and equal segments. Two equal segments. Now we've worked with bisectors, midpoints of a segment. We've worked with perpendicular, granted just a minute ago, but now we've combined them into one. So now you've got perpendicular bisector of a segment. So this is the second word map that you have to do for homework also. All right. So now this, we're going to draw a diagram. It says segment CD bisects. So CD is doing the cutting. AB is the one being cut at point W. There's the draw. So this is CD. It's doing the cutting. This is AB. It's being cut. This is W. And now if that's my label's done. There's my mark for perpendicular. There is my mark for the bisect piece. Now if AW is equal to 16, that means the distance from here to here is 16. Find the distance from A all the way over to B. Well, if this is 16, we know this is 16, therefore AB is going to be, notice I have to add, so I'm going to say 16 plus 16 is equal to 32. If you add, subtract, multiply, or divide, you've got to show me work. All right, so now let's put some algebra into this. So now we're going to say AW. Let me erase what I put up here. My D's gone. All right, so now they're telling us that AW is 6x minus 2, and AB is 20x minus 26. Well, we'd say part plus part equals whole. Because these are congruent, that means this is 6x minus 2. So we would say 6x minus 2 plus 6x minus 2 is equal to 20x minus 26. All right. So if I were going to continue to finish this, this would be 12x minus 4 is equal to 20x minus 26. I'm subtracting 12x, and I'm going to add 26. So on this side, I'm going to have 22 is equal to 26 subtract 4. All right, that's going to be 8x. So I'm going to divide by 8. So x is going to equal 22 over 8. 2 goes into 22, 11, and it 8 4 times. Now I've asked for BW. So BW is going to be 6 times 11 over 4 minus 2 over 1, which is 66 over 4, common denominator, minus 8 over 4 is going to be 58 over 4. And then if I simplify that, 2 goes into 58, 29 over 2. Right. So now we're talking about angle C, where's C? CWB. See that box? That tells you right angle. Right angle means 90 degrees, which means 3x minus 5 equals 90 degrees. So that means 3x equals 95, or x is equal to 95 over 3. All right. So this is your opportunity to try. I want you to draw, mark, and label. Draw, label, mark. And I want you to just at this point set up the equation. And then down here I want you to set up the equation. All right, I can't write up. But set it up, do not solve because you're not going to have enough time. We're going to start to go into the constructions. So this is a time to be paused so that you all can get this set up. Take about 4 minutes and see what you can do. All right, from here we're going to skip several pages and we're going to go down to the constructions. And our first construction is constructing a perpendicular bisector. And if you notice on these notes, there is a URL for a YouTube demonstration of a perpendicular bisector. All right, so I'm going to bisect this segment. There are directions on the other part, and what you're going to do is you're going to put your compass point on one end point of the segment. You're going to open your segment to it's got to be over halfway on that segment. Then you're going to make a nice big arc. All right, now I'm going to move my compass point to the other end point of the segment and make sure you do not change this opening. That opening must remain the same. And now what you're going to do is you're going to do another arc, and it should intersect the arc that you did initially in two places. This point and this point will be connected with a segment, and that we did this, I believe, to construct a midpoint. And this is, what is in blue, is your perpendicular bisector. All right, to do that one more time, I've got a segment. You put your compass point. Let me get my tool back. All right, rotate. I'm going to take my compass. I'm going to put my compass point on one end point of my segment. I need to make sure that the opening is over half. If it's not, then you won't get that intersection. Make a nice big arc. Making sure that I do not change the compass opening. It's got to remain the same. I'm going to put my compass point now on the other end point of the segment, and I'm going to draw another arc. Let me get this higher. And it's these 2 points of intersection that I'm going to connect. That is a perpendicular bisector. I'm going to show you 3 different perpendiculars today. All right, the next is going to construct a perpendicular to a line through a point. Here's my point, and then I'm going to do it from a point not on the line. And what I want to do is I want to try to show you that the process is really similar. All right, so to do the construction when we're on the line, you're going to put your compass point on that point that you want the perpendicular to pass through. You're going to open your compass and you're going to make a arc. And now what you're going to do is you're going to leave this opening the same, and you're going to then turn your compass and you're going to make an arc on the other side. Okay? So what we have done now is we've got 2 points of intersection, one here and one here. The purpose of these points of intersection is this is going to be where I'm going to put my compass next. So I'm going to come to this point of intersection and put my compass point. I'm going to open my compass wider, and I'm going to, I think I'm going to open it wider. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to make a nice big arc. Oh wow, I turned it pink. I have no clue how I did that. All right. So now as I come over here, I'm going to put this compass point on this other point of intersection, leaving the same opening. And as I do that, I'm going to put my compass point there, and I'm going to draw another arc, and it needs to intersect what I just drew. So now it's this point right there and this point P that we're going to pass the line through, and I didn't do a very good job, so let me move it. That's how I draw a line perpendicular to a segment at a point on the segment. Now, you need to mark it. This is perpendicular, so I am bad. We need to mark these over here. This is perpendicular, and then we put the tick mark showing this is congruent. We show perpendicular, and we do the tick marks showing congruent. All right. So I'm going to come over, I'm going to move my compass. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to now, notice we've moved the point off the line. However, I'm going to begin with my compass on the point. Just like before, I started with my compass point here. I'm going to put my compass point there. Now you've got to open your compass so your pencil point is below the line. Compass point on P, compass point below the line, and you're going to intersect that line in two places. So now I've got these 2 points of intersection, and those are to put my compass point on before. Remember, the next step here was to put your compass point on those points of intersection. So I'm going to move my compass point down here with my point of intersection, compass point on the point of intersection. Notice I'm still below the line, and I'm going to make an arc. I'm going to move my compass. Actually, I'm going to flip it first. Hold on, I won't be able to see it. So now I'm going to move my compass point to my other point of intersection, and I'm going to draw an arc to intersect. Now you're going to connect this point P through that point of intersection, and that is the line perpendicular to that segment that passes through P. So I'm going to mark my line, not my line, I'm going to mark my perpendicular. All right, so I'm going to do this again, and I'm going to try to do them simultaneously. I think I want this to be black, so that you can see how they really, truly are similar. So I like to have a different, so this is going to be black. Okay, and then I'm going to make this one black too. All right, so I have a point, I need a point. All right, I'm going to have a point here, and I'm going to have a point up here. So when I want a line perpendicular to the segment that passes through this line. So I'm going to grab my compass, I'm going to bring it down, and what we're going to do is we're going to put our compass, we start on the point. We start the compass point on that point. And now we're going to draw an arc to the left, and we're going to draw an arc to the right. When I'm doing it not on the line, notice I start with my compass point on the point just like I started with the compass point there. But now what I have to do is I have to make sure that my pencil point is below the line. So once I get it below the line, I want to intersect this segment with an arc so it intersects it 2 times. So what we've produced is we've produced 1 point of intersection, 1 point of intersection. 1 point of intersection, 1 point of intersection. Remember, both of these constructions started at the given point. And we did arcs on both sides. When I come back to here, I'm going to put my compass point on 1 point of intersection, and I am going to draw an arc. Doesn't matter whether it's above or below. I'm going to go to my other point of intersection, and I am going to, I've got to maintain my compass opening, and I'm going to draw another arc. The goal is to get the 2 arcs to intersect, which they do here. So, similarly, I'm going to come over here, just like we started on the point of intersection. I'm coming over here, and I put my compass point on the point of intersection. I'm going to make my compass below the line, opposite side. I'm going to draw an arc. Then I'm going to put my compass point on the other point of intersection, just like I did over there. And notice I'm not changing my opening, and I'm going to do another arc that will intersect my first one. So what we've got is we now have a point of intersection here. So now in each case, I'm going to take a line, and I'm going to connect each point of intersection of the arcs to the point that we were given. So hopefully you can see that these are very, very similar, and we're going to mark our diagram with perpendiculars. All right, so we've got about 20 minutes. I'm going to do another construction, And this is a YouTube video where there's a point on a line, there's a point not on a line. So if you want, you can get more, you can see it again. And now I'm going to show you how to construct a line parallel to a given line through a point. So now we don't want perpendicular anymore. We want to construct a line parallel. The first step is to literally just draw any line at any angle through this point such that it intersects this line. So now essentially what we're going to be doing is our angle construction. So we're going to get a compass on our picture. All right, so you're going to put your compass point on the point of intersection where this slanted line intersects the line that we want to be parallel to. We're going to open up our compass and we're going to draw an arc that will intersect both of this line, blue line and the black line. Notice this angle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the angle. We know how to do this construction. All right, so now I'm going to take this compass point and I'm going to slide it up to point P. Keeping the exact same opening, I'm going to construct, I am going to make an arc. So this, the distance from here to here is the same as the distance from there to there. Now we're going to measure this opening because I'm duplicating this angle. We've done this before. So I'm going to try to get my compass maybe going this way. I'm going to slide down here, put my compass point there, and this is where the smart board's hard. This is why I wish I had a my compass. So you want to make sure that this pencil point is on that point of intersection. Now look where the compass point is. It is on this arc right there, that point of intersection. So you're going to move it up here to this point of intersection. So I'm going to slide this up, keeping this opening the same, and now the goal is to make an intersection. Intersect that arc that you drew initially. And now that point of intersection and this point right there are going to be connected with a line. And I didn't do a very good job. Mine needs to go up a little bit. And that's how we do a parallel. I don't know how much time you all have left, but this was a 20-minute video. And your homework last night was your angles and algebra, constructing angle bisectors. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the answers with work shown so that you can check you can check to see what you did. But that's the end of this video. And I will have Mrs. O'Regan put the work up underneath the Elmo so you can check your work. And I do believe that if I go to the next page, there is a YouTube video that shows you how to construct parallel lines. My suggestion is that you just practice this construction about 5 times. You practice each one of these constructions about 5 times, and you do this about 5 times. And if you do those, then 5 times, you're going to have it. It's going to be yours.